I know this, that in order to make yourself great, if nobody hands anything to you, you need to work for it.
Players, the real football lovers, they go out and they play the game regardless.
I'll say to a lot of them that there's only two type of people. There's football people and then non-football people.
I enjoy playing for the Patriots just based off my teammates. We've been together for 3 years. You know, we've had our ups and our downs. Won national championships, won MSFL championships, and it's just all around fun.
Football really showed me the part of life about winning, and always trying to strive to be the best, to get the best results, because nobody wants to lose at the end of the day.
I did not start the Lincoln-Way Patriots. John Bush and Steve Strimmel were the force behind founding the team. Patriots, actually a name comes from a fallen soldier, friend of theirs and player that they played with in high school. I didn't know him, but they wanted to name the team in honor of him. So John Bush, good guy, good owner. You know, this level of football is challenging in many ways. I mean, everyone loves football, but football's expensive. It's an expensive sport to run. Like business, semi-pro also reflects directly on business. So you have to be capitalized to run a business. So if you're making a movie or you're opening a cupcake shop or you're running a pizza place, you have to plan for it accordingly. You have to capitalize it, so you have to have the money to do the things you need to do to run the business, and you have to take into account while you're running that business what you're going to do to get income in to make it self-sustaining. Semi-pro just essentially wants to be able to pay the bills, so some teams charge player fees, some do fundraising. There's a mix of what they can do, and again, getting back to anybody can start a team. So you get guys who say, hey, this seems like it's a good idea, and they have no idea what they're getting into when they start it.
He's as intense on the football field as he is in the business world. It's a little bit more babysitting that we have to do out on the football field and with the team that we have to do in business, but it's a lot of the same things that apply to teamwork on the football field as applies to teamwork on the business side.
Guys probably laugh at this kind of stuff because I'll go into football lessons or football stories and how they translate to life. They really do. It's scary how it really does translate from what you do in football to a lot of those same skills and situations you'll see in life.
Now, he's very consistent on what he demands from not only the people that work with him or for him, as what he expects from the football players, anybody associated with the team.
There's no Patriots without Tyson. The work that he's put in, all volunteer.
Well, I met Jim about 7 or 8 years ago now, and his wife and I were high school classmates back 20 plus years ago, and stayed in touch throughout the last, after I've met them for 2 or 3 years, I'd come up and visit. And they had an opportunity to come work up here, and part of the conditions of coming up to work here were to manage his semi-pro football team.
I had no plans to coach. And the only reason I agreed to take over the football team is because the former owner was stepping back. It's a lot of time and effort and money, as we talked about. And I thought to myself, well, there's a lot of good guys on this team, and I don't want to see it fold. So, be careful what you wish for. Then I stepped in that. And once you're in, like I said, you're in. It takes a toll on you, both physically and mentally, to be able to getting back and forth to practices, what you have to do during practices, all of the different things it takes to be successful. And I stepped in because I had to. There were no plans for me to start a team, take over a team, coach a team, but here we are.
I broke down that film 10 times from Sunday. Special teams, not even on the same planet. Offense, our offense is much better than them. Defense, much better than them. So all it means is coming out and executing. All the faces, that's it.
This is non-paid football. This is a non-revenue producer, although each team does have sources of revenue, sponsorship, fundraisers, gate, at the games, concessions, you can sell apparel, things like that. It generally does not make any money. So you have to rely on the expertise, the time, and the effort of the individual teams. Ownership runs the league, and there's executive committees, and they've developed the rules over all of these times.
Semi-pro football has such potential if we can get a group of teams together that can pull that type of support for the guys and make it a competitive league so they can showcase their skills.
Our guys are kind of the cream of the crop. What they do, how they regulate, officiating, venues, and really at the end of the day, quality of football. If not for semi-pro at this level, they're done playing football because they're not good enough to be in the NFL. And a lot of these guys are close. I mean, they're so good.
Being a guy who played pro ball for Kansas City, played for the Chiefs for 2 years, and then Canada, and going and playing at all different levels, and then going to fighting, and then coming back and playing semi-pro, it's a humbling feeling.
And we've got guys that just go under that threshold. We had a player this year, did private workouts. We did highlight films for him. We did this all for him, sent it out to scouts. He got a look. He did not get a tryout. He was one of those borderline, just fringe guys that I thought could have caught on. But sometimes in the NFL, it's a numbers game. They're looking at the best in the world at their craft. I thought that he had a 50-50 chance of coming into a camp. So there's saying it happens. I'm talking long shot, and here I'm telling you about one of my players that we sent that out to. If you look at the major sports in America, you've got baseball, right? Football and basketball. If you look at baseball, the farm system fills that void. For all those players that come out of high school and college, they have a farm system, and that farm system is extensive. I mean, all the different levels of ball to get up to the bigs fills all of that. They get paid while they're there, they move up the system, and if they're good enough, they make it to the majors. Basketball, it's a little different. Now they have the D-League, right? So you've got the NBA where everyone wants to be and where all the big money is, but D-League, and then overseas is their farm system. That's worldwide. Basketball is a world game now. So you can play in Argentina, you can play in Japan, you can play in China, all of Europe and all their leagues. There's extensive possibilities for developing players. And all of those guys are getting paid, right? Even the lower end guys, you take a kid that's out of high school, and if he's making $75,000 in single A ball, a year, with a signing bonus, that's more than he's going to be making, right? And guys that graduate from college in basketball go overseas and sign a $150,000 contract. Those are even lower end guys, but they're making a living. Football doesn't work that way. The farm league is college football, right? But they don't get paid for college football, and you have a finite amount of time there. You have 4 years, 5 years with a red shirt. Once you're done, you're done.
Semi-pro football and the Patriots can be a conduit for the guy who just can't, he wants to play another game or play another year. It can be for the guy who wants to play at a higher level, either at Arena League or a Canadian, or even guys at this level have made NFL rosters. But it's also for the guys coming out of high school that didn't make grades, going to junior college, but want to continue to develop their football skills, so when they do get grades, they can get a look at a Division III, Division II, or if they're good enough, a Division I school.
So all those guys that have played football for their whole lives, they don't have an outlet. Semi-pro, not by design, but just de facto, fills that niche.
Everyone's kind of playing just to prove something to themselves. Some guys feel like they have to do this. Maybe they didn't do that well in college or high school, or they feel like they have to do something that they never got to do.
I love it so much. I've been playing it for a while. It's like, I'm gonna give it one more try. And like every time you want, like you ever had that moment where you want to do something so much, and then it's like, okay, you think you should call it quits, but then you got that itch. It's like football season. Are you really gonna stay at home? no, I'm gonna go out and play.
There are football players and there's non-football players. He's a football player.
Hailing out of New York, New York, give it up for Lorenzo, the Dream Killer Hood.
That man is, I would not want, the reason I wouldn't play football and chose not to play football is because of guys like him. He is intense. He wants to go out there and inflict physical punishment, which is what the game of football obviously is.
He's crazy too. Certain guys where you go and you just flip the crazy switch and that's going to be it on the field. You know, it's controlled rage.
Once you get me hyped up, there's no real stopping. You know, like I'm ready to come and I'm trying to. I'm one of the more aggressive players we have out here. Let's just say that, and that comes from the way I play football, and that comes from just being like MMA. Like there's helmets in here, so I can hit. I'm whether it's a head-to-head or whatever it is. Like I'm not. I'm gonna be okay.
But he's a great teammate. He supports everybody, and he's integrated in with the Patriot family. Immediately.
He's one of the first texts I get every game day. Is from him that he's ready to go dominate. Ricardo is another guy with a very big personality.
The way we've been lately, it's kind of hard, It's really hard. It's very hard. Harder than ever. But yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right,
Why does this guy come an hour and 15 minutes each way? That's 2.5 hours to drive to a semi-pro practice that you don't get paid for. Because in his belly is the fire to compete. Tony, yeah.
Yeah, Tony is the heartbeat of our squad. As he goes, is how the team goes from a performance standpoint.
We led the nation in scoring last year, our team. And it was because of Tony Powell.
At this level, the best quarterback that you could ever ask for. He's smart. He makes the plays that you need to make. He draws the players together. He leads by example. And without Tony, this team would not be anywhere where it is.
He is the most valuable player in the league, bar none.
He's had a child since he's been with the team and married his wife since he's been with the team. So we've kind of seen him grow up from his college days to now being a young professional. And he handles everything with class. He handles himself on the field with class, and that's what he does off the field too.
He's the backbone of the organization. There's a lot of people that add to what we do as a family, but he's the anchor for what we do. I can't say enough good things about him. He's always been there. He's always been accountable. He worked for me for years, and I don't have anything bad to say about Tony Powell. Will Long, he kind of embodies what we're about as an organization. Will always have a special place, for me and a lot of the players.
He's an inspiration to a lot of guys. He truly had the most passion for the game that I'd ever met with the Patriots.
Will Long is like the heartbeat of the Patriots. Like everything we do is for Will. Everything.
He loved his teammates. He loved to put on the gear. He loved practice. He loved everything about the team aspect of football and what the Patriot family provided, to him and to everybody else.
It was a tough loss for everyone. It's certainly, to a much greater extent to his family.
You never really realize how short life is until it happens to someone close to you or family member, things like that. But when it happens to a fellow teammate or it happens to a coach or something like that, it definitely adds added value to the fact that every day it could be your last day, and to live it that way, and to play every down or to do anything you do with that same anticipation that this could be the last time you do this. So give it that. You got to give it that. You have to give it everything you got, or don't do it at all. Because if it is your last time doing something and you give it, 20%, it's what you'll be remembered as.
His number is retired, and There doesn't go a week that goes by where I don't think about him for something, particularly during the football season. And you know, we end all of our breaks, every practice, with Ill Will, which was his nickname. It was a tragic situation, but in some ways, you know, his memory does live on, and a lot of the players still play for him.
He was like a brother to me, a little brother to me. I was the reason he played here for the Patriots, so yeah, Will's a good guy, man. You know, it's kind of sad he ain't here with us, but we're gonna keep pushing for you, bro.
The thing about football, which makes it a beautiful game, is that it's the ultimate team game. Nothing like it, because of the amount of people, being 11 guys at the same time every play. And the physical aspect of it's one of the few games that you are relying on all of those other guys for your physical well-being. The obvious answer seems like, well, you're there to win championships, and we are, but it's a lot more than that. You know, the semi-pro in general, in particular, you know, I always call it the Patriot family, because that's the way I feel about it, and that's the way most of the players feel about it.
Ronald Zolikofer. I play for the Lincoln-Way Patriots. Grew up in the Austintown area, right off Central Division.
My name is Tavares Latrell Estes, a.k.a. Bane, a.k.a. Big Dog, a.k.a. T, a.k.a. Mr. T if you know me personally, and that's what it is.
I'm Larry Sturgill.
I'm Sierra Sturgill.
This is my wife of 1 year and a couple months now.
My name is Deontay McDonald.
I'm Deontay Ball.
Alex Fuller, cornerback.
I play for the Lincoln-Way Patriots semi-pro football team.
My priority is family first, work second, football third. I spend a lot of my time at work because I'm trying to provide for the family. The business requires that I do that. And when I get home, you know, I'm with my kids until they go to bed. I don't view recruiting as the process of trying to just go get people to entice them to come play for the Patriots. So it's not like college, let's say, where you're casting out this wide net, you're trying to talk to every player and you're convincing them to come to your program.
People that do the recruiting for you are your core base of players that are committed to the team. So, you know, early on, you know, Tony Powell and Greg Barksdale and Lexus Jackson, the guys, even Eddie Riley, who's been with us from the start, you know, those guys are really the foundation of how you get more talent.
We got a new addition to the team, my old college teammate, Ronald Zolikofer. So that was pretty interesting this year to see him play. He's a great running back, you know, shifty, catch the ball great out the backfield, blocks well, and is all around contribute to the team to get us to the conference championship.
Well, we've been knowing each other since about second grade. We were actually in the after-school program, and I was just by myself drawing. And this guy comes over, thinks he can draw as good as me. And he was drawing, and I guess he was drawing wrestlers. But instead of having the arms open like they were cut off, and then he put an extra arm, I had to teach him the right way to draw. But yeah, that's something I always remember.
Pretty close with the few people on the team in college, so I hung around them, worked out with Tavares, that's on the team with us now, Big Mike, you know, all of them. And then at one point I lived with Tavares, so learning from him like what he knew about football, and even though I wasn't playing, I was able to keep growing my knowledge about football.
A lot of those guys I done played football with and against in high school. So to see them now at the semi-pro level, and a lot of them I played football with in college too, to see them now, it's like we know each other. And some of the guys have played with each other longer than I played with, some of them. So, you know, it's like a family now, man. After like 7 games, 8 games, it's like a family. We stick up for each other.
But he did say, you know, I might be out here with y'all next year. And ironically, the next year he was out there competing right away. I was on offense, he was on defense, and he was, like his name, scrappy. He's always trying to jam the receiver, pushing him out of bounds, hold him, anything possible.
It was never
so much about the money. Growing up, I wasn't one of those kids that said like, man, I can't wait to be in the NFL and get paid for this, right? It was really just falling in love with the game my freshman year of high school and never really looking back. My biggest achievement that I wanted was to become an All-American in college. When I achieved that, I mean, that was my goal.
You know, always being around the team, trying to find that one thing I could do to keep everybody going. They could always hear me on the field because, you know, I'm in the stands screaming for them.
I just tell them, like, look, all I want you to do as players is take care of each other, right? Respect each other, the game. And that goes for staff, coaches, all of that. And be committed to playing. All the other stuff you don't worry about.
When I first came out there, I mean, he was one of the first people that I talked to, asked him who was who, what the team looked like, you know, guide me in the right direction, to really let me, because I know if anybody would be honest with me, to let me know if I should play on this team, it'll be him. So, you know, I asked him, you know, how we look. He said, we look decent, we got a couple athletes. You'd be a great asset. First day of practice, I seen it was pretty cool.
We started playing together, seventh grade, Pop Warner.
Yeah.
He was a tackle, I was a tight end. Yeah, we've been playing ball since then.
I am ready for practice. I am ready for the game Saturday. Ain't nothing else left to do but just go win. Simple. Whatever we need to do to go win, we gonna go win. We don't need no motivational speeches. We don't need coaches to say nothing. Our team ain't ready to play as a unit. We're not gonna win. If we play as a unit, as a family like we're supposed to, we're gonna win by 50.
I play football because, you know, I wholeheartedly love it. I mean, it's just the physicality of it, you know, being able to hit somebody, being able to, you know, pick somebody up after you hit them, like the camaraderie, the sportsmanship, you know, the brotherhood that you build with your teammates, you know, stuff like that.
And when I had the opportunity to come out for Lincoln-Way, which was a good team, as well as have fun, have that same camaraderie that I'm used to from high school all the way through college, I was sold. So, you know, I told him I committed to the team, and it's something that I haven't regretted in the past 3 seasons that I've been playing with him.
I've got a pretty big support system, just people in general, but I have a pretty small circle of people that have been, you know, with my, you know, kind of helped me with everything I've done. You know, when I wanted to play ball, they were there. When I wanted to fight, I was there. When I wanted to stop doing MMA and do boxing, they were there. So, you know, they're there through no matter what. You know, so I got about 6 people. They know who they are, and you know, I love them and I appreciate them.
From 5 to age 14, my mom was taking me to all my games, every single one, and my dad was there too. Now that I'm a little older, they don't come to every game because they have lives too. So I understand that now. My brothers too. My brothers, they always come whenever they can. But I know my nephews really look up to me. My youngest one, he just told me that he wants to play football. So to be a role model and to see that someone wants to follow your footsteps, that's pretty cool. I got friends that always come to some games. And no matter what team I play on, like, the team support me too, you know, because I make plays, I'm a playmaker, so everybody know, like, you know, and I'm not really cocky. So, you know, that when you're cool and, you know, you can be a team player and everybody supports you.
I had support all the way through, and they haven't deterred one bit. They've always been there. They're super excited. They were probably just as excited as I was. And now to have a daughter that I know once she gets a little bit older, that's something I can show her. I can show her my ring. I can show her pictures, accomplishments, accolades that I received going through college. And I mean, that's just a very proud moment. And I'll always cherish the experience that I had there.
My mom said my son played his tail off. You know, we play and we do this game for not just ourselves, but for everybody. So the success on the field is not just for the team and not to just win, but also to give an example to everybody else, to let them know in the family, like, hey, I'm doing something positive, and I want y'all to be a part of it too, because when I win, they win as well.
My uncles, you know, I look up to a couple of my uncles. They're police officers.
My support system mainly comes from my grandmother, living here all my life. I got a younger brother that attends Walter Luther in high school. He's a junior. Right now, what I want to see from him is just the work ethic, the way I do it, just showing him how to get to the next level, whether it's college or whether it's through life.
I lost a couple good friends at young ages to do the gun violence too as well in this area. Couple younger kids that were younger than me when I was a kid, you know, like I'm 25 now. I just found out one 19-year-old that he's 19. Well, he was 19, then he got shot and killed to gun violence. That just helps me want to be, like we talked about earlier, persistent. Like, I got to get my family out of here. This not even worth it if, I got nephews that's 7 and 10. They soon going to be 14, 15 years old too. And I don't want them not to go through that. That's what I went through. Walking home, looking around every corner, looking over your shoulder, making sure nobody's following you. Because, you be guilty by association, no matter if you know it or not.
The support system is totally critical. I mean, there is no way, regardless of how much I love football or love the guys or the competition, without the support system, no chance. Starting with my wife, I mean, she doesn't even like football. She was a cheerleader. She doesn't even know half the rules. But not only does she, allow this to happen, if you think about all the stuff I'm telling you about, she's got to allow all of that to happen at the expense of whether it's money or time or whatever. But she runs fundraisers and runs all the concessions, which is no small thing. That game day for me on Saturdays, same thing for her. She's at Sam's Club. She's making sure everything. She's the first one at the field and the last one to leave every game.
It's something that no matter what's going on in my life, I know two things. I can look forward to Wednesday nights and I can look forward to Saturday nights because I know I'm going to be with, people I enjoy being around. I'm doing something I love and I'm relieving stress. I'm able to take whatever anger I'm feeling and I can, either hit somebody or block somebody or whatever it is, score a touchdown, and just the joy from scoring a touchdown or getting somebody into the end zone, helping them get there, or sacking a quarterback or anything.
We're at the top of the heap. I mean, first of all, we win all the time, and that matters. There's a lot of guys that are out there in this physical game getting their heads kicked in and losing every season.
I know that he really loves it and he really enjoys it. So if he's out there doing something I know he really wants to do, then I just hope that, he's safe while doing it.
If they get injured, man, we just pick them up. We let them know that everything's going to be all right. This semi-pro football, we don't expect people to go out and be superheroes and stuff like that, but, we understand people got lives and jobs at stake by playing this game.
Leg issue, ACL, is like a really big thing for me. Also concussions. I know a lot of people having issues with concussion protocols and stuff like that, how they want people to stop playing football. But the way the game's going around now and the safety protocols, I think a lot of that stuff will change.
I was playing in a semi-pro tournament to go down to Florida, and I was playing quarterback, and I threw the ball to a receiver. He tipped it, and it got intercepted. So I'm the last man standing to stop the guy from scoring. So I'm running to a guy, and another guy is coming, cracked me. So my feet went one way in the air, and my head hit the ground, and I was out, like out. I woke up, had no movement in lower extremities and stuff like that, and I woke up, I want to say a couple hours later in the hospital. I got flight for life from there to Freighter, and went there and realized that I was temporarily paralyzed. Well, pretty much all the muscles around my spinal cord were swollen, so it was stopping movement in my lower extremities. So it took me I was on a walker for a couple months. It took me a while to get back into full movement and stuff like that. And it changed my life. I was the most depressing moment in my life. At that moment, I thought about everything. Not wanting to live. I'll be honest, I thought about not wanting to live because I took walking for granted at that moment. I think everybody taking walking for granted, and when you can't do anything, I couldn't use the washroom on my own or walk, just walk with my daughter. And I think that was the biggest thing for me. I was so hurt because I played with my daughter that I didn't see my daughter for the first 3 months. I was paralyzed because I was so emotional, and it's we usually play, and I couldn't do what she loved the most.
Susie, I'm so sorry. You are an amazing little girl. And when I'm feeling better, I promise to come see you. I heard you was crying. And I never want to see you cry, so I'll make it up to you soon. I promise.
My high school coach, Grant Jones, he passed 2 years ago. That's my favorite coach. He watched me grow up. He grew me into the man that I am today. I first met him at age 13. I was playing for the Windy City Dolphins. He said, man, shorty, they sleeping on you. He's like, one day you're gonna be something special. He believed that I could play anything on the field, so I played receiver. And my sophomore year, I made all area receiver. My junior year came along. I had to play quarterback and safety. I only played quarterback my 8th grade year. He said, I seen you do it. I can't really throw, but I can run. So I was like, I'd give it a try. I think I had 17 touchdowns that year, which was the most of my high school career. 9 of those was kick returns. And that's one thing we really worked on, because he said if you want to go to college or go to the league, you got to be able to return kicks too. We would get up Saturdays and go run the hill in No Park. He didn't have to do that. He would take me out to go see games, take me to go get food, things that, he didn't have to do. We had a real good connection. I would call him like my second father. Like I said, he really disciplined me too. At times he would put hands on me. I remember one time he actually, choked me out because I got real smart. So I was like, man, you're not talking to me. And yeah, he had choked me out, woke me up like, yeah, stop playing with me, stay humble.
John L. Clark, man, I met him playing for another team, and we were already a decent team at the time, and we didn't have that defensive coordinator to, give us that edge. I met him right off back. He dropped so much knowledge on me, and just how he game planned for people. He could take away anybody's best player and make them look like nothing. And his defensive mindset is just on a whole nother level.
Coach Squeak was a person that motivated me to play the game, taught me extra things and how to execute properly. My mother just taught me how to be tough and never quit. And Bunky was my cousin, he was just somebody that he looked up to me. He wanted me to be great. I wanted him to be great. So he pushed me then in 2011, and he pushes me now. I have a ritual where I'll come out and I'll get dressed, put my pants on, get my boots suited up, and then I put my music in. I'll put a song on that'll probably get me really motivated, or it could be something laid back. And I'll run to each pylon at the back of the end zone, and I'll just blow a kiss to the sky to my coach who passed away this year, Coach Squeak, and then to my cousin Bunky, who passed away before my senior season in college. And he was supposed to come to my first game against Trinity, and he didn't make it. So I'll blow a kiss to them, and then I'll blow a kiss to my mom. She's battling cancer. She's a tough lady, man. She's been around me. So the rituals that I do is for the people that motivated me to play football.
First game I ever watched was a Baltimore Ravens game. I'm a diehard Baltimore Ravens fan. And I remember seeing Ray Lewis, and it was it was like his first season. And ever since then, I was like, man, I gotta play ball. I gotta be like that guy.
I actually wore number 11. I actually got tattooed on me because I used to like Roy Williams, the old Cowboys wide receiver. I used to watch him a lot, so that was my, I liked him, but I liked the slots, or Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Chris Carter's, the guys that actually played the game when it was hardcore. Those type of guys I kind of look up to. I like the guys that's there now, but as far as when I was growing up, I was looking at Jerry Rice, Musa Muhammad, those type of guys, that was grinders. Hines Ward, because I love the way he cracked people, that was one of the receivers who just loved to block. I kind of love doing that. I'm on offense, so I can't really do that much hitting. So if I get a chance to knock somebody out, I'm absolutely going to take it. Absolutely, I absolutely have to hit you. So hopefully this game, I absolutely can crack somebody, and I'm going to jump for joy. I'm going to be so excited.
Our track record and getting to where we are was climbing that ladder. So we lost to our number one rival, Chicago Thunder, in the conference championship 3 years ago. And we were undefeated. And we were winning the whole game. And they had back-to-back onside kicks to come and beat us. They scored 14 points in the last 4 minutes of the game. And that was, heartbreaking. You go through a whole season of all that, and it literally means nothing. Next year we were better, and then we played the Racine Raiders in the regular season at our place after they had just won. And we beat them. Another undefeated season, went all the way to the championship game, spotted them 21 points in the first 6 minutes. Kickoff return for a touchdown, fumble, 21-0 with 6 minutes gone in the game, and lost. Almost came back to win the game. Tony got hurt in the last minute of the game on a game-winning drive. Again, almost there. And then last season, ran the table and then dominated in the championship game. So repeat is, you always want to stay at the top of that heap, but we've got more added to that in the fact that we've got beat. We're not the number one seed in the playoffs. And it's kind of a funny position because we generally don't lose, even as good as the Mid-States is, that we have been able to run the table for so many seasons in a row. And losses, for me at least, they hurt and they stay with me maybe longer than they should. So the second we lost that game, you know, I can lose, I can handle losing, and I'll lose with class, but I was ready for the rematch. I've thought about that game since the clocks went 0-0 on that game. So when you get that opportunity in football, and this one counts, that was a regular season game, you know. So with all the marbles, so to speak, now we get a chance at redemption and to go back to the championship game. So it's good.
The Ducks end the season for the then MSFL champs, Lincoln-Way Patriots.
Out a little more in terms of the footprint and bringing people on because the task is so daunting to run it at the level that we are. So we're always trying to bring on more people, which we've been able to do. The executive committee is throwing the challenge out to the owners to say, hey, this is our league, so we need to continue to move that forward, to hold each other accountable, to make us the cream of the crop nationwide. And so I think that's the calling for the league, is to have the owners continue to be proactive in making our brand better.
Pro is it just gives you that passion and the love that you have for the game.
Absolutely amazing. If I win a championship, I'm done.
Just have a love for the game, love to compete.
Players play for free because they love the game.
Just the love of the game.
These guys play football because they love the game and they love competition.
It's definitely love the game.